From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Steve Milton.
It's Monday, July 1st. Happy birthday, Canada. This is Ticats Today, and I'm Steve Milton. Well, they're celebrating in the nation's capital, as they always do, to commemorate the birth of a nation, but the hoopla and the emotional fireworks are a little more pronounced around the Ottawa Redblacks camp as they rallied to beat the Hamilton Tiger Cats last night after it appeared that the Ticats had rallied to beat them. But in what is starting to become a little too depressingly familiar, the Ticats came up short when they needed to come up long and have now dropped to 0-4 in this young season that is getting less young as time moves on, as time tends to do. The final tally was 24-22 as Lewis Ward hit a 46-yard field goal on the very last play of the game to cap a 19-yard drive that was a little too easy, considering that Levi Mitchell had marched his offense 61 efficient yards, capping it off with a touchdown pass to Rookie of the Year candidate Shemar Bridges that gave the Ticats a 1-point lead with just 28 seconds left in the game. 28 seconds. You heard that right, and you heard it right last night. And the Ticats will hear it right in their dreams, their nightmares, really. But a missed 2-point conversion attempt, which would have given the Ticats a 3-point lead, was immediately followed by an absolutely inexcusable 27-yard kickoff return by Tobias Harris. And that's not even the deadly Devontae Dedmon. Then came a 9-yard catch by former Ticat Jalen Acklin, who had a very strong night, and a 3rd-and-1 completion to Braylon Addison, another former Ticat, for another, again unacceptable, 10 yards. The Cats, knowing quarterback Drew Brown would be throwing, couldn't get what they desperately had to get, either that first sack of the night or a big pass knockdown on tighter coverage than they somehow mounted. That gave Ward all the time and yardage he needed to win. So in the East, the Ticats are now 2 full games behind the Redblacks and Argos, both 2-1, and a stunning 8 back of the 4-0 Alouettes. They're in the bottom third of the overall CFL with the Blue Bombers and Elks, who are also 0-4. The Ticats came up short again, despite a huge game from Tim White and despite doubling the number of takeaways they had in their first 3 games, with a pair of forced fumbles, one by Robert Panabaker, who stripped the dangerous Dedmon on the opening kickoff as Felix Caron-Gauthier recovered. A couple of plays later, Mitchell escaped trouble and rolled right and found White in the end zone, and he made a great catch to get himself back on track and went on to compile more than 200 total yards. Mitchell completed 30 of his 45 passes for 322 yards and 2 touchdowns. Those are big numbers, but felt he wasn't effective enough as Mark Leggio had to attempt 3 field goals, all successfully.
Frustrated because obviously we want to win. It's and you're in the bottom of the standings, and so I think that's just the tough part is knowing that we've got an uphill road to climb to, in my mind, I'm still trying to catch Montreal, right? Like my mind's trying to get first place. It's not about just making playoffs or anything. Like I want first place. It's a long season. I've been in the CFL for a long time, and I know that things can change quick. So we just got to keep our heads up and just keep moving.
Frustrating was the word of the day, particularly in how much it was reminiscent of the home loss to Saskatchewan, in which the Rough Riders scored 10 points in the final couple of minutes and also won on a last-second field goal. Scott Milanovich echoed Mitchell's frustration comments.
Well, it's frustrating to lose any game, but that's 2 now. We've kind of lost that way, and I just told the guys I wish I could yell and scream at them, but they're giving nothing but effort. There's total buy-in. They're working hard every day, and we just got to keep at it. There's no magic words to make this feel any better. Yeah, I mean, obviously when we see the film, I know we always see things that you don't see during the game where this could have been a difference or this could have been the difference, but they played hard for a full game. I thought it was, a pretty good team effort for the most part. We didn't score enough points offensively. They scored 10 at the very end in the last, 3 minutes, and they got the win.
It was almost like a reversal of the whole being greater than the sum of the parts, and Mitchell, as usual, was quick to absorb blame for the offense not making enough hay out of big passing yardage, a 5-minute possession advantage, a good second half from running back Greg Bell, who was playing his first CFL game with James Butler still progressing through concussion protocol, and White, Bridges, and Stephen Dunbar running clutch patterns, especially on second downs.
To be completely honest, I just didn't think I played a good enough game. I know we had the last drive there, but I feel like this offense is so good, and I missed a couple of reads tonight that took us off the field, and again, it leaves the defense out there, and I know that's going to happen. I'm not going to beat myself up about it or anything, but like just a 2-point play there, like it's easy to get backside, hit key on the drag, and that's the, now we're a 3-point game and tie game going to overtime. So just small things I got to clean up and just keep pushing to get better.
Yeah, we were bogging down kind of in just outside the red zone, and we'll have to look and see why. We'll have to see what the mistakes were. We had too many penalties on offense again. All right, we had too many first and longs and second and longs. That's part of the problem.
To go along with the shortcomings, there were, as usual, positives, one of which was Bell, who started slowly, but Milanovic remained committed to handing him the ball and also sending him delayed into the flat for short passes. After 3 runs and 3 catches in the first half for 34 total yards only, in the second half he acclimatized and got some better holes, with 10 rushes for 39 yards and 4 catches for another 23. That gave him 20 touches overall for 96 yards from scrimmage. Mitchell was impressed.
Yeah, I was proud of him. I thought he had a great game. I thought his communication was awesome. I thought he did a hell of a job protecting the football. That's not an easy team to run the football against. That's something they pride themselves on, is trying to stop that run game. And I thought our O-line moved people better tonight against a very, very good D-line, veteran group too. That's very good. And I thought he hit some cutback lanes that were amazing. I thought he, great job in the check down there at the end of the game. So all in all, a great first game.
There were forced fumbles from Panabaker and Richard Leonard, doubling the total output of team takeaways from the first 3 games combined. 2 special teams tackles apiece from DQ Thomas, Daniel Bell, and Benoit Marion. 6 tackles from linebacker Kyle Wilson, giving him 16 in the past 2 games. And 5 big tackles from defensive end Nick Usher and, of course, Leggio's continuing accuracy. And then, of course, there was the opening catch by White, which not only got the game off on the right foot, but renewed his confidence, which appeared to me to be a bit waning. He went on to catch 8 passes overall for 118 yards, carried the ball once for 2 yards, and after Lawrence Woods was hurt, he was pressed into punt and kickoff returns, in which he amassed another 94 yards, giving him 214 total yards. And it was that first catch that kick-started it all.
I seen Bo, flush out, so I just went deep, kind of like scramble drill, and just had an opportunity. I just had to capitalize on it. Those are plays that, we have to make, and we expect to make those plays in our room. So it's just something that we just have to continue to do. It felt good. I felt like, natural, more myself. It wasn't the perfect game. I put a fumble on the ground, which is just, to me, is like unacceptable. But just looking to bounce back and continue to grind.
Mitchell, of course, has never wavered in his belief in White and had been predicting that he'd soon explode. He continued to act on that belief last night, and the Cats were rewarded for it.
Yeah, I mean, we have a great connection, and it's happened all training camp. It happens in practice every day. Steve's there every day. He sees it. Sometimes that just doesn't translate, directly to the game. And, I think Tim had a slow start last year, and he came on and, led the league in receiving. So, we know who he is, and he knows who he is. And it was great to, like you said, Claire, just to get it going and kind of see him get that confidence and start to be a little bit more vocal out there. And, yeah, man, when he's on, it makes our offense a little bit easier. But yeah, I mean, he's a phenomenal receiver. He's got great hands, and I know he had the little drops there early, but that's just not who he is, man. He's an amazing receiver with awesome skill set, and a guy that we're going to rely on a lot.
With those positives, though, the overriding negative is that the Ticats are still winless, and while they've played 3 of their 4 games on the road, and the next 2 are at Tim Hortons Field, separated by their first bye week of the season, it doesn't really get any easier, at least on paper. On Sunday, they play the BC Lions, and after their bye, they return to face the Toronto Argonauts. Those teams stand second in their respective divisions. And besides the frustration that Mitchell and Milanovic both referred to, the 0-4 start brings up another descriptive, which Mitchell dropped into the post-game discussion.
Urgency, right? Like we don't have time to take the day off and go home and watch a movie. You need to be in the film room and find out, hey, what can you do individually to get better? And that's me. That's every single player, every single coach. It's all of us, right? Like, we're in this together. We're only going to get there together. So if we want to get where we want to go, we all got to get better.
We'll leave it at that. And thanks for taking the time to join me today. I and the crew really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time on the Ticats Audio Network.
This has been Ticats Today with Steve Milton. Catch it on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.